Hello everyone and welcome back to another one of MMM's Shenanigans videos. Now today I'm going to be doing this live. I was going to be uploading a video. Some things went wrong with that video. A couple things I'm learning. I didn't really do this before. Never messed with video editing or recording video or even mead, wine or anything. So this entire process, everything about this YouTube channel as well as making wine and mead is all a learning experience for me. Couple things that I need to learn is stuff like lighting and situational awareness and what's around me when I'm recording and just different things. Stuff that I would assume is common sense, but just wasn't thinking about it. I was more interested in this. So I have a list of things that I actually want to go over today. Um, First couple things is fruit meads. One of the things that I'm learning really quick is that this kind of overflowed on me. Meads in general, from my understanding, aren't normally like a very violent fermentation, but depending on, I guess, what's in it, it can be. So, like this orange mead over here that I'm making, nothing happened with it. Like it's fermenting, it's working, but it didn't go all crazy, didn't foam up. Whereas this one, within 12 hours, I woke up the next day to find that the entire airlock and everything was filled with some of the juice. It had actually come up and out and ran down the side, so I had a mess to clean up before work. So one thing that I think I'm going to be doing in the future is when I'm making a fruit mead, I'm going to be doing it in a bucket. There's 2-gallon buckets that I can use that will allow for more action at the top to go ahead and work out like that. Um, Whereas one of the other topics I wanted to talk about was the fruit itself. So with fermentation, the yeast eats the sugar and produces carbon dioxide as well as alcohol. Well, carbon dioxide coming from down in the bottom goes up and hits the fruit, causing the fruit to be raised to the top. Something that I actually stumbled across by accident on the internet was something talking about cap management. Now, what that is they call this fruit up here the cap. Now, what that means is that it's a cap. It's just sitting at the top, but it's covering everything. Carbon dioxide coming from the bottom can't be released to actually get through it. So what ends up happening is your juice down here will start to become flavored badly. It just it's an off-putting taste in there if you don't release that carbon dioxide. Another thing is the fruit up here will actually start to dry out and mold if you're not careful. So one of the things they say to do is to make sure that you're pushing that back down, mixing it back in. Now, again, I'm learning, so I don't know if this is proper or not, but what I've been doing is just shaking it up. Um, I'm not too worried about the lees or what they call lees, basically dead yeast and other stuff that just falls to the bottom. I'm not too worried about that in the first week or two. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference with taste. I do know that you're not supposed to let it sit on that for long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up racking this off in about another week to go ahead and get the fruit out of it. I've been told 2 weeks is about as long as it needs to really allow the full flavor, the color, everything else to come off of the blueberries or oranges in this case, um, to get into your drink. So I'm going to be waiting about another week, and I'm going to rack the juice out of here and into another fermentation vessel. It's pretty much all I wanted to talk about with this one. I'm not sure if shaking it makes a difference. I know it stirs up the stuff at the bottom, but it's still clearing out as I speak. I see some falling down. Um, so just little bits and pieces. So I don't think it's going to be a big problem because I can still rack it off additional byproducts later on from this vessel to the next, or the next to the other one. Um, so we already talked about cap management, fruit meats bucket. Okay. This was a bit of a pain. In my last video, like I said, a lot of things went wrong. So this right here is a bung. It's supposed to fit into the top of the bottle. Now this one has a hole in it meant for the airlock. This thing actually sits in the bung. Now there is a solid bung which is really good for different things, such as when I'm shaking it up, you can do that. When you're trying to store it for a long period of time after fermentation has stopped, you obviously don't want any of that fermentation to cause your bottle to explode if you cork it or anything. You can allow it to age in a larger vessel for a long period of time with a solid bung if the fermentation is complete. If it's not, it's better to use this with an airlock so that way it can let any gases escape that needs to. Anyways, the solid bung that I bought apparently was too small. Now, I didn't actually pick it out, the person at the brew store did, but I would suggest if you are buying stuff to make sure that it fits properly with what you're using it for. When I tried to put the solid bung into this to shake it up, it got stuck. And it had like maybe an eighth of an inch above the glass rim that I wasn't able to actually pull it out. So I spent about 5 to 10 minutes using knives to try and pry it out, and I finally got it, so that worked out well. But yeah, just make sure that what you're getting isn't going to cause problems later. So another problem I ran into is a wine thief. What that is it allows you, if you've seen my other videos, it allows you to pull liquid out of your product for the purpose of testing or tasting or whatever you're trying to pull it out for. Most people use it for their hydrometer. The hydrometer is what allows you to check the gravity of the product. The purpose of that is to essentially check the density of your liquid, which changes based on how much sugar is in it compared to alcohol, compared to water, and so on. So they know that if you have so much sugar in it, the device, the hydrometer, is going to read a certain number. So by checking that specific gravity at the beginning, and then checking the specific gravity when it's done fermenting, you can do a calculation to determine your alcohol content, as well as it kind of helps you to know where the fermentation is at that time. So with the hydrometer, or with the wine thief, I can't fit it in this bucket. The jug, I can't fit it through the hole at the top. It's a little too big. It's fine for the large carboy we have for wine. However, it's not so good for these. So I ended up having to go to Walmart and get a turkey baster and literally just pull some out and put it into the tube and then test it that way. Now, let's see here. So with the auto siphon, I've seen a lot of stuff on how it's used. I'm not sure if mine might not be working correctly, but I've seen a lot of people where they just like essentially pump it and then it starts working on its own. Mine didn't work like that. Mine, I actually had to hold the other end of the tube to allow for when I pull the tube out to actually draw liquid into it. So when I push it back down, it forces that liquid down and through the tubing. So when I was actually with my dad just last weekend, we were doing some beer and he was pumping it and it was working. And that confused me because for me, I couldn't do that. I tried it, it didn't work. So I guess I've been doing it wrong or mine's not working correctly. But yeah, that's, I guess, just one of the things that I encountered. So I'm not sure if I need to get a new one or just keep doing it the way I've been doing it because it actually works like that. Just it's a little bit different. But yeah, so as of right now, these are the meads that I'm making. I do have one more 2-gallon jug, 2-gallon bucket that's making the mead for 1 gallon of product. The wine is actually almost done. The wine, next weekend, we will be bottling it. So that is a video I'll be recording. Currently, I do have a video that's been recorded of us racking the wine, degassing it, adding the clearing agents, as well as the flavoring packets. So I'll be editing that and uploading that hopefully next Saturday. Aside from that, I don't really have much else to go over. If y'all have any questions, comments, make sure to comment below. I'd love to answer any questions y'all have. I may not know the answers, but I do enjoy looking stuff up quite a bit. So if y'all want to know the answers, I can at least look into it and find out the answer for you, and I'll be happy to get back with you on that. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon so you can know when we are posting a new video. Again, you can find us on Facebook anytime. Most of my videos will have the link to it, so feel free to follow us there as well. I do want to thank y'all for watching and have a great day.